As an online scheduling platform, UniversiTime meets the needs of colleges and student employers everywhere. This team's business plan, selected as the Bernel Best Bootstrapped Business Plan Award, features high profitability and small investment needs. Please welcome Mike Clarke and Mark Vermeersch from UniversiTime.
Thank you. My name is Mike Clarke. I'm an electrical engineer junior here at Notre Dame. I'm one of the co-founders of UniversiTime, along with Mark Vermeersch, who is a junior finance major, also here at Notre Dame, and Jared Bulosan, who is a junior computer science engineer at Notre Dame as well. So let's focus on UniversiTime. Mark and I are student managers in the Notre Dame Public Computing Labs. We've got 6 computer labs or computer clusters that are spread across campus. Each computer lab has between 30 and 80 computers inside, and these are staffed by our student technical support individuals, and these are staffed from 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. 7 days a week. So our experience this last year has indicated that student employees have special needs that are very different from your typical Walgreens or Burger King employees. You can't call up Walgreens and say, I've got a large class project due next Friday. Can we maybe think about rescheduling when I can work? That kind of flexibility doesn't exist. So it's important for academic employers to be sensitive to these types of needs. So some of the problems we ran into over the course of the past year, these pie slices are organized by the magnitude of the problem that we faced. So first and foremost was dynamic student schedules. What that means is we spend about 15 or 20 hours at the beginning of each semester putting together, based on the availability of our employees and based on seniority in the cluster, when these people need to work throughout the week. So this is a large time sink for us. Also, just when you think you've got the schedule figured out, that's when somebody drops or adds a class, and the entire schedule needs to be readjusted, rebalanced to handle this. In addition to this, we found there was little accountability. When you're staffing 18 hours a day and just one student manager to keep an eye on the cluster, it's hard to keep track of whether people are actually showing up for the shifts that they are logging their hours for. So it's important to keep track of, make sure that people are actually showing up to work. Also found there was an ineffective substitution method. What that means is, what typically happens is students who need to fill a shift that they can't attend, maybe they send a mass email to everybody that's involved with the clusters, they end up with a massive inbox, flooded with emails, and it's difficult to keep track of who actually is supposed to show up to work. Some other problems we ran into were scheduling confusion during finals. We found that there was poor communication when we were trying to reach our employees, and just general inefficient use of our time as student managers. So our solution to this problem was, going into this year, we created UniversiTime. Now, UniversiTime is an online automatic scheduling platform. The way it works is students enter when they can work into the system. We then, based on their seniority in the cluster, based on when they can say that they work, we generate on the fly a complete schedule. So if someone needs to make a switch, we can accommodate that with just the ease of a click. This is also convenient, allows online access so that an employee doesn't have to walk to the cluster, doesn't have to make any special effort to check when they need to work or that kind of thing. Also, we implemented attendance tracking features so that we can keep an eye on whether people are actually showing up to the shifts, as I mentioned before. We're also going to add a feature that's reason for missed shift. When you're working in the academic sphere, you need to be sensitive to issues. If something important does come up, you need to understand and be able to work with students. You can't necessarily just fire them on the spot. Also, we needed to create some kind of substitution board. So the way this is handled, you'll see in the next slide, it works very well. This is what the user sees when they log into UniversiTime for us. You can see some important features here on the screen. This person's working 3.5 hours, which is a little on the light side for a student employee, but fairly typical of the kinds of hours that we see. Notice how it's not Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. It can change from week to week, and it can change like that. Also, below each shift, there's a request sub button. A student employee would click on that if they needed to request a substitute for that shift. Immediately, it gets popped in the box on the right there, where you can see a list of a couple shifts right there that need to be filled. So the result of this is that we end up with a lot less shifts that go unfilled due to that kind of confusion. There's also a check-in button at the top. It's limited so that only people that show up in the clusters are able to check in. That way, we don't have people just claiming to be at work when they're actually in their dorm room. Also, this is the manager screen. This is what we see when we log into the system. You can see along the bottom here, this is a listing of when people are supposed to work. And green indicates they attended this shift. Red would indicate that for one reason or another they were not able to attend this shift. And there's also some schedule tweaking features and some abilities to track attendance and track the reasons for missed shifts and that type of thing to allow us to get a better grip on how things are working in the computer lab. Our current status. We're currently used in a beta test in all 6 primary computer labs that are across campus. This is used by 85 student employees currently, and we're looking to continue this beta test into next year. We're also looking to expand the flexibility of the system. Right now it's written just for the Notre Dame computer labs, but we're looking to expand it and make it as general as possible so that St. Mary's can use it, so that La Fortune can use it, our student center on campus, and any university across the country could use our system. We're also looking to create an installation and e-commerce website so we can facilitate things like a 14-day free trial and make the payment process as easy and simple as possible. So how are we doing? Well, we conducted a survey halfway through the semester, and surprisingly, 95% of student employees had a strongly favorable opinion of UniversiTime. Now, this is a big change. We didn't have the system at the beginning of the year. We started using it, and to have that favorable reaction was strongly encouraging for us. You can see some thoughts from some of our users there at the bottom. So now Mark is going to talk about some of our competition.